kids. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And nobody tells you that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, the Take It Home Podcast, where I talk about professional wrestling topics and I put up my matches as Classic Alpha, professional wrestler of 13 years. A lot of big things are happening that I'm very, very excited for. So make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. That is me and my wife's professional wrestling company. Yesterday we put up the 4-on-4 elimination tag match that happened at the 11th hour, the semi-main event. Team C3 versus Team Board. So make sure you watch it, subscribe to it. That's on the C3 Ultimate Wrestling channel. Great match. A lot of great matches. And then there's the main event. We're going to drop the main event this Friday, probably at a 12 o'clock time. So make sure you subscribe to both channels, the Take It Home Podcast and C3 Ultimate Wrestling. I wanted to talk about tribalism. I'm a little thirsty today, so if I do drink while I'm recording, drink soda, not alcohol, please excuse my improper etiquette for doing lives. But I am very, very parched. Tribalism. What's going on, Raphael? God bless you, sir. Tribalism and wrestling go hand in hand. God bless. What up, Robert Brown, Lafayette? In the building. What's going on, man? So, tribalism and wrestling, they like go hand in hand sometimes, especially when we get on Al Gore's internet and like how some people are very loyal to one company to the fact that they will disrespect anybody that watches anything else. Now, I do understand. If you are a fan of a company, that is definitely fine. Threatening people, doxing people, and bringing up personal stuff is just going too far as being a wrestling fan. That is tribalism to the most part. Now, a lot of people say that AEW has more tribalism than WWE. Some people feel that WWE has more tribalism than AEW. I'll tell you what, there's some negative tribalism on both parts, and we're definitely about to talk about one. So, I'm glad everything is good. Tribalism sucks. I don't mind. Actually, I am a tribalist to wrestling. But what I won't do is threaten people. I am all about that. I am a tribalist for that. I can be respectful. Some people will be like, hey, you're not here. You're not at this company. How dare you? Trust my insight. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm grateful for the people who have subscribed, and even they've had people that disagree with me, and sometimes they've brought great points. That just happens. I'm willing to listen, right? Some people are not willing to listen, and that's the problem. Now, this tribalistic point. So, yesterday, when we were just chilling, we talked about WrestlePalooza and how it wasn't that good. And then I also brought up that an ESPN writer gave it a C. He said that the women's match for the title was good. Everything else wasn't that great. It was just bland. So he gave it a C. You know, he said it was some highlight, but it was just some low lights too. So, what's going on, Goofy Goober? Nice to meet you. So, since yesterday, they found who this person was. Not only did they find who wrote the article, they also brought up past tweets of them basically being a uber fan of AEW. Now, I didn't look at the tweets about AEW and stuff like that because they were saying that he was an AEW tribalist. And I'm like, just because he likes AEW, maybe he likes it more than WWE, it doesn't mean that his statement wasn't wrong. In my opinion, I agree with it. In my opinion, I think the person was very graceful because I'd have gave him a C- or a D. Not mine, pause no Diddy, but still, I didn't think it was even that good. Honestly. So now people are saying, oh, well, this ESPN writer's opinion isn't valid or the article isn't valid because they don't like WWE and stuff like that. They like AEW and all of that stuff. I'm like, sometimes you can tell when somebody is just saying stuff to say stuff, and then sometimes you can just say this person is very, very honest about the situation. There's not a lot of people online that are saying they enjoy WrestlePalooza. They're not saying it's the worst. Well, some are saying it's the worst PLE, but they're not saying like the matches and stuff was terrible and slippy blippies. They're just saying the presentation of it just wasn't good. You know, That's what most people are saying. They're not saying, okay, this was a great thing and I can't wait to watch what else happens on the ESPN network. You know, there's rumblings about ESPN being mad at them anyway because of Stephanie talking about watching WrestlePalooza on the VPN, knowing that people will watch it on VPN or whatever streaming service. Crazy. But what's going on, Sean? He already laughing. What's going on, Charlene? But still, it's definitely not the worst. Bad Blood was bad. I don't think I even enjoyed Backlash that much. Because I'm trying to recall. I think Backlash was when everybody had a no DQ match. Like, everybody. Or was it SummerSlam? Anyway, still, I just think the presentation. You see, when when Paul Levesque says, oh, big surprises are coming and all of this things and stuff like that, usually when he says it, something big happens. Usually. Nothing really big happened. Good to see The Undertaker, obviously. Stephanie being inducted, that's a big thing, obviously, for him and his family and wrestling in general. But at the same time, it wasn't nothing really big that happened. It really wasn't nothing. So I think a lot of people was let down. Tony Khan does this a lot. Paul Levesque pulled a Tony Khan. Tony was going at one point every week. Tune in and Dynamite. There's a surprise. There's a surprise. Tune in, tune in, tune in. And then when we look at it, oh, he's introducing another show. Oh, he's introducing another belt. Ric Flair is here to surprise Sting. Ric Flair got energy drinks. I never drank them. Still, I'm just saying. It is what it is. I don't think this year in quality for WWE, it's just been tanking. It's just not been great. For them to make record-breaking money, record-breaking deals, sponsorships, cities are bidding for PLEs and stuff like that. For them to do all of that stuff, it just sucks that the shows is not good to show for. Like, you should be able to be like, hey, look at WrestleMania if you want to be a wrestling fan and want to become one. You be like, man, what is this? What is this nonsense? Like, what is going on here? But going back to the writer, right? What if they are loyal to AEW and stuff like that? What they said wasn't bad. I've listened to a lot of people's horrible takes on the WWE PLE that was very good. Like, I've seen stuff. Like, I remember people was just trying to find any reason to hate WrestleMania 40. WrestleMania 40 blew 41 out the water. We all know this, but I remember people just coming out of nowhere just trying to find anything. And that's where the tribalism kicked in. This person, I don't know their name. I don't think what they said was disrespectful or trying to talk bad about the product. Now, it's bad that you work for a company that works with WWE, but at the same time, people just need to start being honest with what the product that WWE is doing. They just need to be honest. So many people, when Vince was running it, so many people were saying so much stuff. It was just like, oh, well, Vince is this. Vince needs to step down because the quality is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Nobody's calling for Paul to step down. We just want stuff to be better. And another thing that y'all need to realize, that we all need to realize, is that Paul is not a great forefront person. He's not the great mouthpiece for WWE. He's not. He's definitely not, especially when people ask him questions during interviews. Thank God. Well, I don't even want to say thank God they got rid of the interviews, because people was asking him good questions and he just couldn't answer them right. When he is under pressure, he cannot answer a question right. He does not make me feel comfortable with some of the answers he said. I don't see color and stuff like that. And when people say that, I truly believe some people mean well by it. But in the climate of this year, that is not a good answer to say. Definitely the worst. Bad blood. Okay. I am good. I hope everything is fine. SummerSlam. Yeah, SummerSlam was bad. WWE has better production. AEW has more interesting matches. I haven't watched AEW in the past few weeks. I've seen like a few clips, so I'm not going to argue with you. Like I said, the last highlight I've seen was when Tony Storm was going against Sky Blue, and they would staple each other body parts. Like I said, this is the time where AEW could turn around and turn the tide. Now, that's going to take a while. It's not going to happen overnight, but they can turn the tide. Turning same family-friendly ticket prices and then turning around and not doing family-friendly product is a problem. Still, WWE obviously is at the top. It's the mecca. They're buying companies. They're getting people. They're buying people out of contracts. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff. But at the same time, a lot of people love the product. And like I said, and I said it yesterday, just because we as adults or wrestlers or fans or whatever, or podcasters, journalists, whatever you want to call it, just because we don't like what's coming out of WWE, it doesn't mean that kids and the other people, the people that they target. Now, as far as a kid is concerned, you know, sometimes my kids will be looking at it and be side-eyeing stuff. Just saying. Hey, it is what it is, but still, you know, my opinion may not be the majority. It may not be the whole consensus. It may not be the whole thing for people. But at the same time, I'm just like, man, what is going on with this stuff? And maybe this person who works for ESPN, hopefully they don't get fired. Maybe WWE listens to him and say, maybe we need to do something different because this was your first show on ESPN. And this is what y'all gave them. And that's shame on y'all. I think y'all played it too safe. Y'all was just like, okay, we're just going to give them this. We're going to give you a new champion. We're going to give you Usos because everybody like Jay, everybody like Jimmy, Big Jim. We're going to have CM Punk and AJ Lee. AJ Lee's returning since 10 years, going against Seth and Becky, respective champions. And we're going to give you Cody and Drew in a main event that didn't even need to be a main event. That match could have been first. Heck, if anything, y'all could have had John Cena versus Brock be made. We still would have been mad. Oh yeah, for sure. We still would have been mad. But still, could have did that. I'm just tired of WWE 30-minute matches, 3 commercial breaks, 4 dive-out spots in every match. Yes, they're going back to what they used to do back in the day. There was a time where people would bring up almost every time somebody would win a match with a roll-up because that's just what it was. They wanted, if you wanted to continue a feud, instead of actually having the person just doing a move, making them tap out, or doing a finisher and 1, 2, 3 and they out, they kept doing roll-ups. Oh, new champion, and then the following week or show they lose it or whatever. They had a whole bunch of roll-ups, and I ain't talking about the candy. Like I remember, like Raw and SmackDown, like almost every time you seen one, somebody won with a roll-up victory, and it got so tiresome. It was just like, can y'all do something else? Can y'all do small packages? Can y'all do schoolboys? Can y'all do backslide pins? Like, can y'all do other stuff besides this? Because it's just getting repetitive. And then even now, what they're doing with Bayley, right? Bayley, I guess, is stuck between her old self, and she's the hugger, and then now she's mad at people and stuff. Aren't y'all doing that with R-Truth? Wasn't R-Truth doing this? Wasn't he Ron Killings, and then everybody just started calling him R-Truth? Like, what's going on with that? AJ, a couple weeks ago, he was talking about, oh, somebody in the back don't want me to succeed and stuff like that. And I'm like, people made noise about it, but wasn't Karrion Kross doing that on the way out at the door? Like, what is going on here? What is going on here? This stuff is not working. It's not working. The roll-up season, right? It was roll-up season. And I ain't talking about Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg all together on a smoking tour. It was straight roll-up season. Like, oh my gosh. Why? It was just so many roll-up. I didn't understand it. To me, it was dumb. It was really, really dumb. And when storylines and stuff like that gets repetitive, I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in Bayley, multiple personalities and stuff like that. I'm not interested in that. Y'all was doing that with R-Truth. AJ, I don't know what they're doing with AJ. I know AJ was feuding with the Americanos and stuff, and then now it looks like he's going to face John Cena at Crown Jewel, because that's only one thing that they listen to about the fans, because fans was tagging John Cena saying, hey, you need to go against AJ Styles again, and John Cena said, hey, I would love to do it. And then apparently, I don't know if it's true or not, I saw match graphics. Now they're supposed to be going against each other. I'm not excited for that match, y'all. I'm sorry. John Cena is not John Cena. John Cena is the crab legs of John Cena. He is the shell. And that's no disrespect to him. It's just how they presented him. It's how they projected him. That's just, this storyline is just horrible. This retirement tour is bad. As a person that will most likely find a way to find his final match, y'all did not do this man justice. Y'all did not do him justice. The stories have been inconsistent. Travis Scott was in there. The stories has been bad. Travis Scott was in there. John Cena changed his mind of being the bad guy. Travis Scott is in there. Did I forget to tell y'all that Travis Scott is in there? And then even then, he's not even in the company anymore. They was training him to wrestle. Drew McIntyre about to get cut. We're going to talk about that. Arshawn says, then before that, it was never tap out submission season. You want to know something about that, Arshawn? That also transported to independent scene. It's a lot of matches nowadays where people just don't tap. You mean to tell me everybody got the never give up moniker now? Like, jeez, man. When Sheamus tapped to Rusev at Clash in Paris, I was shocked because we don't see tap outs. We just rarely see tap outs. And even on the independent scene, I don't want to pull the curtain back. There's a lot of people that be talking about they don't mind tapping, but then they want to go to sleep. It don't make sense because wrestling is supposed to bring real legitimacy to it. So if you look at the UFC, and if somebody puts somebody in a sleeper hold and they pass out, if they kick that on, they're going to die. They could die. You put an arm bar on somebody. If you keep it on for a long time, your arm's going to snap. Or your leg bar, his leg's going to snap. Shoulder, anything's going to tap. So you mean to tell me everybody's just indestructible when it comes to wrestling? And that's just an element that I just truly hate about it because a lot of people do that kind of stuff, right? John Cena is one thing to never give up, but everybody has to do that. Jey Uso did it when he went against Gunther for the rematch. Gunther tapped to Jey, and then when they did the rematch, Jey did not tap to Gunther. He just passed out. What is going on here? Drew McIntyre we're getting ready to head into the tag team breakup season. People think that Ford and Dawkins is about to be done. Some people can see Jay and Jimmy breaking up again within the past 2 years. I can see it. Like I said, New Day dressing up like when funeral clothes, something about the death of the tag division is so fitting at this point. They ruined John Cena farewell tour. Yes, they did, Sean. I hope everything's well with you. They did. They did it wrong. They did it horribly. The best thing about John Cena's retirement tour is the shirts. Like every week he has a different shirt. I like that. Just in case you are a collector and you want to have something that's like very monumental, you can get almost every shirt and you can probably sell it, or you can probably have this memorabilia for John Cena. Like nobody just had more creative shirts this year than John Cena. Like I like a lot of them. A lot of them are very dope. But yeah, they messed this up so bad. The matches ain't even been that good. I think honestly, one of his best matches he's had was him against Logan Paul. That was one of his best matches. I didn't like that Logan Paul kicked out a lot of attitude adjustments. Cody Rhodes and John Cena at SummerSlam with the no DQ. That was pretty good, but look at what all they had to do. They did a bad job. They did a bad job. Let's see. He said something about Brandon. Said Drew McIntyre about to be cut. I wouldn't be surprised. Unless they're doing some story where, like, once again, the system is against Drew because when he faced Cody at WrestlePalooza, the referee didn't count when he did the Claymore in time, and certain things happened, and the referee stopped him. You know, sort of like what AJ and Karrion was doing about people don't want me to be this. So maybe they'll do that. Hopefully Drew will become champion. I think it's long overdue at this point. What could I say? People love that Steven Brett match to the grave. And that's fine. I mean, that was good. And look at what it contributed to. Look at what happened after that. Like the double turn. Like if we could do it, if they can emulate anything since they copy and paste, try to do something with a double turn. That would be cool. If they could do it, if they're creative enough to do it, that would work. That was a good match. That definitely was a good match. His tour has come and go. Yeah. Like he even got hair plugs one time. Like he said, he's like, you guys made me get hair plugs. I'm like, why is John Cena talking about this? Why is this relevant to anything that's going on? just straight confusion. Like, what is going on here with this retirement? Like, it was sad. Like, just think about it, guys. Look at Raw Netflix and look at them. This is my final year, retirement. People crying. People thank you, Cena, and all that. You fast forward now, you just like, bro, what have you been doing this whole time? Sorry, y'all. It's Fago here. This green apple. Shout out to Fago. All I know is this real Oscar should have been moved up a week. That would have been fine too. They could have had 6 matches. They could have had 6. They could have gave LA Knight something to do instead of being the referee. They ruined a lot of stuff. They ruined a lot. I don't know if it's because I'm older. I don't know if it's because I have a podcast. I don't know because I am talking to you guys. You guys are talking to me. But it's just like, man, this stuff just ain't it. Maybe it's because I have C3 and we try to do things. And like I said, you know, I see it. I watch wrestling as a fan and as a wrestler, but I also see it as competition. Obviously, financially, of course, they're killing it. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff. But these are things that's just like, man, I would never do that kind of stuff. You know, no amount of money. You know, you want to make sure people get a bang for the buck. You know, could ESPN have buyer's remorse? Possibly. I mean, even if the writer can sit here and be honest. Remember, which is crazy. Hold on. Ain't this crazy, right? This is the part of the tribalism that like blows me, right? So, a couple weeks ago, when Bianca made the statement saying that women's wrestling, you know, it's amazing in Saudi Arabia, it's great for women to wrestle there and all of that stuff. WWE fans didn't like it. Hated it. They was like, girl, what is you doing? Why don't you be honest? Why are you being honest? You're not being honest. Oh, we don't like Bianca. Just randomly not liking Bianca. Just because. Like, now you fast forward, somebody gives an honest opinion. Now it's, oh, well, you're an AEW fan. Your opinion doesn't count. That is crazy. Well, these lines for getting these kids is crazy, man. Please go up. I'm definitely trying to get in this parking lot. They do everything but try to get in the freaking parking lot. Hold on, y'all, 1 second. Oh my gosh. I'm Christian, we're not gonna curse on school campus. You're just not gonna curse on school campus. It's just these people don't know what they doing. You can honk your horn at me all you want to, it's not me. Will not curse on campus, Chris. Yes, I am proud of myself because it could have been worse. Anyway, but yeah, man, it just ain't been popping. They botched Oscar turning on EO was PLE worthy. There is no right answer anymore because each side wants a different response. You say yay, those try to get you, and that's true. Like, to me, social media should always be optional. But people treat it so mandatory because sometimes people want their opinions to be validated, but sometimes they feel like they want to be right. And that's the problem. We can have differences of opinion. Somebody can say, I love WWE because it's doing this and that. Somebody else can say, I love AEW because they do this and that. And then we can disagree and still be cool. Not no games. Hey, man, what wrestling set you up, cuz? That AEW, that All Elite? Oh, no, man. We World Wrestling Entertainment over here, man. We about to bang, cuz. Like, come on, man. Like, it's crazy. To me, that writer, I don't know if he said his name on it, but the fact that people went to his other platform, social media, and found old receipts, and it's like, hey, look at what he said. What he said is not valid because he loves AEW. Hey, like I said, that man was more generous than me. I'm telling you right now, that man was more generous than me. But we are living in a time where it's just like anything that you say, people will bring back old receipts. Even if you change your mind, even if you gave your life to Christ or whatever like that, people will really just come out of nowhere and be like, oh, well, you said this and you're going to always say this, or you're going to always have that mindset. Like, people do this kind of stuff. It's crazy, but it's the truth. You know, it is what it is. But I can sit there and say, hey, you can be loyal to a company. You know, like I said, Undertaker's my favorite wrestler, right? But at the same time, when he moving funny, in my opinion, I'm like, you moving funny. Hey, bro, what is you doing, man? That podcast with your homie was good. Nobody asked for you to be with your wife. But since that's your wife, I'm going to be like, I respect it, obviously, because that's your wife. You know, moving weird. You know, Bryan Danielson, he moving weird too. Let me say this before I go. I've said a few things about Bryan Danielson, about his opinions and stuff like that, but I do think that he is going super hard for the company that he's working for. To the fact that he's saying crazy stuff, you know. He said the WrestleMania, his victories at WrestleMania 30, it wasn't nothing compared to the stuff he's done in AEW and stuff. He says it wasn't like a highlight in his career. Now, like I said, he is his own self, but in my mind, I'm like, bro, you know dang well you love that moment. You know them people was with you and stuff like that. And if it wasn't for the fans, it probably wouldn't have happened. Man, get up out of here with that. And then we also talked about, like, he said if Cody didn't go to AEW, he wouldn't be the megastar he is in WWE. Now, there's some slight truth to it. I truly believe there is slight truth to that statement. But still, it's like you're trying to be glad about trying to promote your show in AEW. 1 second, y'all. So yeah, Bryan Danielson, he definitely does a thing where, you know, obviously he's loyal to his company. You know, he's not as bad as Ricochet is, but he's something. So there's a video coming around, and basically he was talking to some people on the panel for AEW. Mercedes Moné came up. She didn't walk up, but they were talking about her in the conversation. And they was talking about, like, all of the belts. You know, she has like 9 belts or whatever like that. And then Ultimo Dragon came up too, because everybody knows Ultimo Dragon has an iconic picture of him with all the belts that he won. You know, Mercedes Moné, she's had interests where people are wearing the cow or cheerleaders, or she's wearing them and stuff like that, and they have pictures. So Bryan Danielson said that Mercedes Moné in 2025 is better than Ultimo Dragon in 97. I think it was either 96 or 97. So some people feel a certain way. Now I'm going to say this. If you are first, usually, and are great, most people are going to be like, you are the standard. So if somebody compares you to somebody, they're going to think that that's the most disrespectful thing. Y'all remember Ascension? Ascension was in NXT killing stuff. You know, they used to wear the face paint, they had the shoulder pads and stuff like that. And people was rocking with them. They was cool. Until they got sent up to WWE. They got sent up to WWE, they still was doing the same thing, and they was gaining traction. As soon as they said they was the best tag team and they was better than the Road Warriors, when the internet got mad at them, they punished the Ascension. They was like, how dare you say you're better than these legends? And what happened? They had all these old legends beat them up the following week, out of nowhere. So I will say that if you are a current wrestler and people are comparing you to legends and stuff, or saying you may have surpassed it, shout out to you, man, because, man, when people have a standard, even if it's something different, they'll never say it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Mercedes is better than Ultimo Dragon. I'm not going to say that, right? I'm not going to say that, because even back then, I'm sure a lot of people remember the belts that Ultimo had. I can't name you 3 belts that Mercedes Moné has. I'm just not going to say that, right? Mercedes isn't bigger than Ultimo Dragon, Double Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon. He said How to Train Your Dragon. So she not better than Toothless. She not better than the Dragon Zord? Like, is she better than Mushu, the dragon from Milan? Is that his name? She's not better than Dragon Ball Z. That's what he's trying to say, y'all. That's what Arshawn is trying to say. Ah, he said no. Sorry, man. Thirsty. She barely better than dragon fruit. I wanted to buy some dragon fruit and try it, but I'm cheap a little bit. I ain't trying to buy nothing that I ain't gonna like. Cause it was like dragon fruit, then it was this other fruit that smells very, very bad that people wanted, that people said that it was a meat substitute. Pause, no diddy. But still, it might have been dragon fruit, or is it durian? It's one of those. But anyway, yeah, to each his own. But it's just like those kind of statements is kind of crazy because you know that like a lot of people consider Bryan Danielson a legend. They consider him something. So it's like when he says certain things, people want to respect what he's saying and things like that. And sometimes these wrestlers, they can say stuff and have a narrative and it works. The problem with Bryan Danielson is that the narrative just didn't work, period. So that's just the interesting part of the situation. But I did want to speak about it. My kids and said, what up, y'all? What up, how y'all doing? All right. Come on, mama, get in here. Yeah.
Why you have this?
Girl, stop. You had a good day? Well, yeah, guys, I want to hope you guys have a wonderful day. We are about here. Got to take care of some stuff. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it.